Okay, this is madness. I've been sitting here for 2 minutes waiting for her to hear the answer that the last fellow just asked, who's all getting all stressed out because his time is running out. You know, he's waiting for an answer too, right? So he's like sitting there for 2-3 minutes, you know, minute, whatever it is, 4 minutes, waiting for an answer as the clock is ticking and his time is running out to ask the next question. Now, if this isn't stalling for time, trying to hide the information, trying to bury it with rhetoric, trying to put spin on it, trying to mislead you down a garden path, you know, I don't know what is, okay? Because this is ridiculous. Like, I'm stressed out because his time is running out. And I'm getting stressed out because I'm sitting here babbling into a camera waiting for an answer which we can kind of guess in what direction it's already going in, right?
Minister.
Thanks, Chair, and through to the member. MCFD is actually seeing a gradual decline in the children in care year after year. As well, we also have now CIHR gradually declining, and that gives us two sort of funding streams that we would be able to take advantage to ensure that, you know, I mean, the member is correct. We need to pay attention to make sure that the family support is there for this program. So there is an ability for MCFD to take a very good look and a hard look at what is actually happening as the changeover slowly happens.
Member from North Coast.
North Island.
North Island, sorry.
Sure, thank you. Unfortunately, I don't think that you answered my colleague's question, despite quite a lot of deliberation there. In what are the closing few minutes of this year's estimates debate. I also note that there was in the that $7.7 million from CIHR has gone to, using the acronyms from Children Home and Relative, has gone to children and youth with special needs. It hasn't gone into the extended family program. It's gone specifically into that. My colleague was asking a very specific question that hasn't been answered. I would hope the Minister can provide an answer, perhaps in writing to him. I'm moving on now to, for the short time we have left, I have a couple of questions.
I like how they pointed out. That's good that they do that, because I know they can't say it like I can say it, right? Because, you know, they're professional people that have to be diplomatic, right? You know, have to keep control of their emotions. Let's listen to the question.
Provide the answer on all these. How much is in the budget line for youth agreements? How many youth are on these agreements? How many actually apply for the agreements? And can the Minister guarantee that these youth agreements, that this is a stable line of funding so that young people know that they can apply in the future?
You're seriously not going to share fries? Okay, fine. What? I don't want to go share with them. It's fine. I ate. I'm fine. I don't need that many hamburgers. No, you're going to eat them all, okay? Can we just talk nice? It's not that hard. Have some fries, Tisha? You don't want to share your fries with me. Jimmy's here, right? No, she just left. She just left. Yeah.
Minister.
Thanks, Chair, and through to the member opposite. Currently, the budget for youth agreements is $7.39 million. And as far as how many we're receiving, in January 2012, there were 798 youth receiving services under a youth agreement. And the last, the question asked was, can the youth count on this continuing? And the answer is yes.
Member from North Island.
Thank you. I also asked the Minister how many youth had applied for this, if she can respond to that. I also wanted to know from the Minister what happens if a young person graduates before the age of 19 and can't get financial assistance for post-secondary until they are 19, so they graduate when they're 18 and they can't get, they've come out of care. What assistance the Ministry is providing there?
so funny how you just came home as Julie left. You really didn't see her? By the way, Mom, just to let you know, I was not in the room the whole time I was here. I just we all just wasn't. It's studying. Not homework, but it's studying for the class. So I'm just letting you know. You don't have to be here. I'm seeing her for a while. Okay? Yeah. Thanks.
Just as a reminder, the lady that's answering the questions, the stuff is staged. They know through their budget, the way they wrote it, what the question will be. It's not that hard to figure out what the questions are going to be. They know well in advance what these questions are. And I wouldn't even be surprised some of them are already pre-submitted. So why it takes so long to answer them, really begs to differ as to what's going on behind the scenes here. Most people don't have the patience for this stuff.
Minister.
Thanks very much. And the question the member asked about, do we have the numbers of those who have applied? No, we don't. It's, when a youth comes into the office, there are a variety of different options that they have. Youth agreements is one of those options. So it's not as easy to get the numbers. So unfortunately, I can't do that. But the second question you had was whether or not they, if they were on a youth agreement, part of that youth agreement is education. So yes, if they wanted, that could be part of the youth agreement. Yes.
Member.
To confirm with the Minister that the youth could go for an educational assistance when they are 18. They don't have to wait till they are 19. If the Minister could just make a note of that. I also wanted to know from the Minister what sort of support these young people get, because often we're talking about 16-year-olds, 17-year-olds, and I'd like to read some quotes from some of these young people. It seems like they just say, here's your $500 for rent and go away. They told me to find out my own place, fill out an intent to rent form, and then send me the check. I never knew about paying utilities, how much food cost. I was really on my own. The place was scary and dark at night, and sometimes I was afraid to go home. Another one saying, it seems like it's different from everybody. One of my friends has no help and never gets to see her worker, and she hates living on her own, but she has no family. Another person gets everything she asks for. There's never enough money for food, so we go without eating a lot. And another saying, the bugs were horrible, and I kept trying to figure out what to do. I felt really alone. To the Minister, what supports are there for young people who are leaving the Ministry's care?
Okay, we're at 9 minutes and 4 seconds. One of my children brought me home some food. I like it when they feed me, especially when I'm working in the yard or something. I don't have time to cook. I go all day without eating. Spend 4 days in the yard and come inside, and for the most part you get 4 days of mess piling up inside. Mother's job is never done. Where did you get the money from, Tisha? Tisha,
Huh?
where did you get the money from?
I had it for like, how many days? I saved it.
Well, why were you scrounging around for money from me?
No, it's not spending. I only had like $13, and then you gave me 5, and my mom gave me 5.
Is that the door?
Yeah. Minister.
Thanks, Chair. and through the
10:33,
member.
so that was over a minute and almost a
First,
half.
I want to answer the question that you had about the youth in a youth agreement at age 18. Yes, I will confirm they do not have to wait till they're 19. Education is part. I also want to sort of suggest or talk about ministry.
And these are children
youth
that have,
agreement
you know,
is,
emotional, psychological issues, some of them, or a lot of them, really. Poor kids, right?
You were
Coming
asking
up
what
in
it actually
dysfunctional homes,
entails.
a lot
It
of
does,
domestic violence,
provide residential,
and alcoholism,
educational,
drug
and other
addiction,
support services,
you know,
and financial
illiteracy,
assistance
right?
to the
Just
vulnerable
maybe,
youth
you know,
through the plan for independence. And some of the things
ignorance,
that
as in
the
being
financial
naive
support can include are
in terms of
shelter,
parenting.
security deposits, telephone, hydro, and other utilities, food, clothing, transportation, education fees, and medical costs. The ministry did ask the McCreary Center Society to do a report on this, and they have done so. There were some good recommendations within it, and it's certainly something that the ministry is looking at.
Member from
thank-
North Island.
Thank you, Chair. Through Chair to the Minister.
And that's another thing.
I
Flipping
was
the chairs
asking what
around in the
ministry-
House Speaker.
ministry is doing to support
You know, in the old days,
young
it was
people
just
as
your
they are
regular House
leaving
speakers,
care
right? One or
without-
two people,
and
that
I
was it.
quoted some,
You know, they hang in there like a
rather
dirty shirt like everybody else.
many people quite
Now,
shocking statements from
it's
young
everybody
people
and
who
anybody
feel they've
who
been
they
left
want to
alone,
just say, go up there and sit down, you know,
isolated. What I was asking was
take
what
the
the
podium,
ministry is
right?
doing rather than
You
just
know,
giving
run the
check
show.
what they are
Same thing
doing
in
to
these
help
committee
young
houses, everybody
people as
flipping
they
around doing their
age if
fair
they're not
share.
living at home, what
Is
they're
this supposed to
helping
be
young people
teamwork?
do. And I said, on the youth agreements, they are still the responsibility of the ministry. They don't just give them a check and go away. And I'd
Everybody's
like
all
to know,
cheery,
the
you
minister
know.
said that there are lots of options for youth, that when they come in the door, that there are lots of options. Social workers do tend to know who is going home and who isn't going home. There are many youth who I would say are couch surfing, who don't receive youth agreements, and I wondered if the minister could explain how the ministry is tackling that.
It's like, well, you see your black ass to get
Quiet.
tell her I love her.
Teacher,
Yeah, Mom?
I'm videotaping.
Okay, are you pregnant?
These MLAs that come in and sit down and act as Speaker of the House or Chair or whatever, you know, is this their way of being witness to the debate? Participating? They don't, you know, like, I don't understand why they're flipping everybody around like pancakes. God, this is ridiculous. I'm gonna turn this off and turn it on when she starts talking.